Hi folks, HR Funk here, coming to you on a Monday. And some of you know that when I post a video outside my regular production schedule, it's because I have something special to tell you about. Or in this case, maybe I should say something significant to tell you about, because today's announcement comes from my friends at Optics Planet, and beginning today, May the 22nd of 2023, and running through this coming Sunday, May the 28th of 2023, Optics Planet is going to feature special pricing on Sig Sauer products in their inventory. So if you go to the Optics Planet website, you can look at Sig Sauer optics, ammunition, and accessories, all of which is going to feature special pricing. And here's the cool part. Normally when special pricing is applied to various items on the website, discount codes don't apply. But this time around, my discount code, which a lot of you know is HR Funk, is going to apply to those special prices, so you can use that discount code and get an additional 5% off just by using the HR Funk discount code. So how cool is that? So to kick things all off, Optics Planet sent me this Sig Sauer Tango-MSR 1:10 by 28 rifle scope to review in this video. So what do you say we get it out of the box and take a look at it? So here we go, folks. This is pretty cool. I have not even taken the plastic off the box yet, so you're going to get a look at this just as it comes out of the box, fresh from the factory and fresh from Optics Planet. Normally, by the way, this scope sells for about $600 on the Optics Planet website, and you can check it this week to see what the special pricing is going to be if you end up being interested in it. And remember, you can use that HR Funk discount code and save yourself another 5%. So we got the plastic off using my trusty Swiss Army knife. And by the way, this scope does include a mount, and you can see that right on top of the package there. So I'll pull that out of the way. And there's the scope itself. I'll take it the rest of the way out of the box and then tell you about its features and functions. And here is everything removed from the packaging. Along with the scope itself, you get two flip-up scope covers, the mount that I already mentioned, a user's manual, two hex wrenches, a battery, and this scope does have an illuminated reticle, and a lens cloth, all packaged with your scope when you get this particular model from Optics Planet. And here's a close-up look at this Sig Sauer Tango-MSR rifle scope. As you can see, this one is in Coyote Tan. There is also a black version that's available. As I said, this is a 1 to 10 power optic, so you can dial the magnification all the way down to 1, which is 0 magnification. And since this scope has an illuminated reticle, you can use it similar to the way that you would a red dot optic, or you can dial the magnification all the way up to 10 power to precisely place your shots at distant targets. And that's a pretty impressive range. It wasn't too many years ago that we did not see rifle scopes with that type of a magnification range, especially not a compact scope like this one. And there's a close-up look at the 28mm objective lens of the Tango-MSR. And Sig uses a special low dispersion glass for their lenses to give you a very bright, clear image through your scope. And unfortunately, I can't hand this to you and let you take a look through it. I wish you could. But take my word for it, it is a very good image that you see when you look through this optic. Something else I'll point out while I'm holding the scope here are the included scope covers, which Sig calls their lay-flat scope covers. And you can see they actually do that. So if you're trying to look over top of the scope to see your setting for your elevation dial, or if you're trying to look at something beyond the front of the scope, you don't have the scope covers sticking up and impeding your view. So that's kind of a nice feature that you don't get with all scope covers, and I kind of like seeing it on this one. The scope also comes with an integrated throw lever that's attached to the magnification ring for quick magnification changes, and that's nice because this ring is a little stiff and that lever just makes it easier to turn. The Tango-MSR has an adjustable diopter on the ocular lens, so you can precisely focus the reticle. And it has finger adjustable windage and elevation turrets that are graduated in half minute of angle increments and both turrets are resettable to 0 once you have the scope sighted in. On the left side of the scope is the illumination control, and the Tango-MSR has 11 illumination settings to go from low light conditions all the way up to very bright light conditions. The illumination is controlled by a single CR2032 battery, and I will install that quickly. Not that it's particularly difficult. Simply remove the cap from the battery compartment, place the battery in its proper position, and tighten the cap back down, making sure not to cross-thread it. Also, make sure you get this cap good and tight so you don't worry about the battery, or the reticle flashing on and off while you're using it. Quickly turning our attention to the included mount. It is also anodized in coyote tan to match the scope. And something that's nice is printed right on the rings and on the body of the mount are the torque settings. So when you mount this to your rifle and position the scope in the rings and torque the ring caps down, you've got those settings right there. You don't have to look them up in the user's manual or anything else. And as you can see, I've now mounted the Tango-MSR to my rifle, and this was a very straightforward process using this included mount. I simply installed the mount on the top rail of my rifle, set the scope in the rings, leveled the reticle, and then torqued everything down to the proper torque specifications as marked on the mount. By the way, this scope has a 3.22-inch eye relief at maximum magnification, so I had to make sure that I had my eye relief properly set before I started to torque down. But at this point, everything should be ready to head out to the range and zero this optic. And there's a quick look at the illuminated reticle in the Tango-MSR, and of course it looks much better in real life than it looks right there. And this is a bullet drop compensating reticle, and I will show you a better view of it right now. So there you can see a much better view of what this reticle looks like, and again, it is a BDC reticle. This is a second focal plane scope, so the reticle is only properly calibrated at the top magnification, which is 10 power, but this scope is also available in a first focal plane model. Alright folks, at this point I have fired 3 shots out of the rifle. I've made 3 sight corrections, one at 25 yards, 50 yards, and now at 100 yards. At this point I'm going to fire my first 100-yard 3-shot group and see if I need to do any last-minute fine-tuning on this optic. So let's take a look and see how this goes. And as you saw, that first 3-shot group is downrange. That measured about 1 3/8 of an inch, so not a fantastic group for my first 3-shot group. One thing though, this rifle has a stock GI trigger in it, so it doesn't do anything to help me out when I'm firing groups. Also, those 3 shots were a little bit off to the right, so I think I need to give a couple of minutes left windage, and after that I'm going to try a tracking test with the scope, and I'll explain that after I fire it. So if you've never seen this type of a test before, what I did with all 6 of those shots was fire dead center into this aiming point, or maybe I should say I aimed dead center into this aiming point. I fired the first shot, which hit here, then I came up 10 minutes of angle and left 5 minutes of angle, again kept this same aiming point, and fired this shot. This hit a little bit low, but it's still in the ballpark. Then I came down 20 minutes of angle, again keeping this same point of aim, and fired this shot, which was virtually perfect. Then I came right 10 minutes of angle, fired this shot, again a little bit high, and these shots that are varying somewhat could just be poor shots on my part. I'm moving around a lot, I'm dialing the scope turrets and everything else, so I'm actually doing quite a few things between each one of these shots. Then I came up 20 minutes of angle, again point of aim here, fired this shot, again that's pretty much perfect. Then I came left 5 minutes of angle and down 10 minutes of angle and fired this one, and that one hit virtually dead center in my aiming spotter. So the tracking on the Tango-MSR looks very, very good. I don't see any real issues with that at all. And now it's time to move on to the next test. And at this point, I'm feeling pretty good with the 0, so I'm now going to fire a 3-shot group of 100 yards at a smaller aiming point, and we'll see how the optic and the rifle do on this one. Folks, I don't know if you could hear it or not, but as I was shooting this 3-shot group, the wind started to pick up and I was getting a left to right wind. So I started to favor this side of the bullseye a little bit more. And on this shot, I just favored it a little bit too much. Otherwise, this group would have been smaller. Still, even as it is, I've got those 3 shots in under 1 inch. Actually, about 3/4 of an inch center to center from that distance of 100 yards, so still well below minute of angle, and I'm pretty happy with that shooting with that new Tango-MSR scope. So folks, I am pretty impressed with the Tango-MSR. It has bright glass, it's obviously capable of very good accuracy, it tracks well, and when I think back to the scopes that were used when I went to sniper school a long, long time ago, that many of which did not have the maximum magnification that this optic has. None of them had the magnification range that this optic has, and they were generally bigger and heavier scopes. There is a lot packaged into the Tango-MSR, and again, I'm pretty impressed with it. It is fog-proof, waterproof, and shock-proof. It has a manufacturer's unlimited lifetime warranty on the mechanical parts and a 5-year warranty on the electronics. And again, I think if you decide to get one of these, you're not going to be upset with it. Once again, this optic, as well as the other options that are in the Optics Planet lineup, are going to feature special prices starting today, May the 22nd, 2023, and going through this coming Sunday, May the 28th of 2023. So you can check out this optic as well as all the other things that are on the Optics Planet website that come from Sig. Also, just a reminder, my discount code still counts. So on top of the special pricing, you can get an additional 5% off if you use my discount code, which is... That's going to do it for today, folks. Until next time, good shooting. Bye-bye.